Welcome to Ask the Lawyer, International Edition, the radio show that brings you the latest trends in immigrating to the United States. Hosted by attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This program is designed to provide valuable insights for those who wish to live, work, study, or invest in the U.S. Whether you're an international student seeking educational opportunities, an entertainer looking to break into the U.S. market, or a business owner wanting to expand your operations and tap into the vast U.S. economy, this show is for you. If you're an investor exploring options in the U.S. or someone with family or friends already living here, you won't want to miss the important information shared on Ask the Lawyer, International Edition. Each week, we dive into critical topics that help you navigate the complexities of U.S. immigration and business law. Special guests include experts in business development, elected officials supportive of immigration, business owners, and nonprofit leaders who provide real-world advice and guidance for those wanting to build a future in the U.S. The law firm of Figueroa and Associates was founded not only to serve our clients, but to contribute to the greater good. We understand the importance of helping individuals and businesses achieve their American dreams, and we are committed to providing the legal expertise and support needed to make that happen. So whether you're an entrepreneur looking to open a branch of your business in the U.S., an investor ready to explore opportunities, or someone hoping to migrate and build a new life in America, you should tune in and learn from this informative program. Ask the Lawyer. International Edition is your resource for understanding U.S. immigration trends, business opportunities, and legal strategies. Call now. For personalized legal advice, contact the experienced attorneys at Figueroa and Associates today. Our team is here to help you navigate the path to success in the U.S. Thank you for listening to Ask the Lawyer, International Edition with attorney Brian Figueroa. Visit us online at askthelawyer.us or call today to schedule your consultation.
Good day. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Paranoia setting in. What is the truth about President Trump, better known as AKA KKK Russian Trump? And when I say KKK Russian Trump, what do I mean? Well, obviously, from everything that he has said for the last 8 years and beyond, ChatGPT agrees with my analysis that he is a racist. We're not going to go through the fine points about whether or not he is a racist, but one of the indicators that you could look at in terms of taking him seriously with the things that he says and does is look at how white folks are responding to him. So yes, at the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, we represent everyone for all the corners of the globe, including people from Western Europe. And their response is with a sense of urgency. Let me get my immigration issues settled. Let me do what I have to do, and hopefully I can do it before Trump takes office. But this is obviously coming from, you may think, the minority community, but I'm talking about clients that are Western Europeans. So if their sense of urgency may not be required, they are concerned. And if they are concerned, what should Black people be concerned about? What should brown people be concerned about? What should Asian people be concerned about? Asian meaning what? People with Chinese descent, Korean descent, anything where your eyes are small like mine, because I have Asian in my blood, yes. I have Asian, I have Black, I'm multi-blooded cultural, yeah. I'm like the United Nations in one. Yes. And some people don't understand the urgency of Russian KKK, Russian Trump coming into the office. And I'm also a student of history. So when Hitler said, hmm, when I come into the office in Mein Kampf, a book that Hitler wrote, that I want a piece of every country or all the countries. I'm going to destroy everyone, black people, Jewish people, everyone. How did people respond? Unfortunately, what he did to the Jews was disgraceful. It was obviously a genocide. Yet still, there are over 200,000 Jews that thought that he wouldn't have been what he was during the period before he started his purge. And why do I remind us about, that real KKK, that Nazi Hitler? It's because everything that Hitler did, in a way, Trump is mirroring that behavior. And people have to be careful. Look at his appointment to the head of justice. What's his name? Gates. All right. They talk about him having sex with a 17-year-old. Yes. That means that the child is under 18. It's a child. If it was under 16 in New York State, it's called statutory rape. In some states, obviously, the laws differ. Is that the person that you want to lead the Justice Department? Why would KKK, Russian Trump choose someone like that? Well, we could look at his own criminal records, the accusations against him. So when we make a decision, when we analyze, we don't use our heart, we don't use our gut, we use our brain. And that's what lawyers do. They research, 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 research. So when we make a decision or we give advice on legal issues, we have to give the public a sense of urgency that is warranted. He wants to denaturalize people. He wants to come after people who are already US citizens. How many people taking office has said this before? And how does he plan to implement denaturalizing people? So if you're a US citizen and you're a naturalized citizen, which is a huge percentage of the American population, even more so now than ever, he doesn't want to look at immigrants just coming across the border. He wants to get rid of immigrants that are already here. Why? Because he's looking at demographics. He wants America to be as Western European as possible. And that's his focus, not Eastern Europe, like the Baltic states, Poland, and others, but Western Europeans. And he doesn't hide his agenda. Yet still the people that voted for him, that are his plan victims, this is what we say, about. You know, the Church of Latter-day Saints say, what we propose, that's, what's that movie star name again? Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise. They say that only educated people should be able to vote, not stupid people, not uneducated people. But obviously, Trump supporters is all of that. But most of them, it seems, are uneducated. They said Kamala got more educated votes than college graduates than Trump. Does that go to people's ability to analyze, people's ability to understand history, and what history is taught at a college level, a high school level, a junior high level in the United States of America? So the Trump administration is coming after a lot of people. A lot of people should be scared. A lot of people should take their legal issues seriously. And a lot of people should start acting on it. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. For those of you listening in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Grenada, if your family voted for Trump and they have other family members in America that don't have their green card yet, tell your family, look, they made a mistake with Trump and they need to take seriously their immigration status. Again, this is the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Now, in New York State, like California, those are the only two blue states. What is KKK Russians' Trump plan for these states? So, state governments are not going to work with Trump doing federal law, which is enforcement of immigration law. However, KKK Russian Trump said that there's going to be a huge federal presence in California and New York State to enforce immigration law. Anytime you are apprehended by any federal authority, the first thing that you're served is called an NTA, a notice to appear. On our today's program, we'll go into detail as to if you are served an NTA, notice to appear for immigration court, what is the process, what is the defenses, and obviously you should speak with an attorney. Each and every week, we have various audio seminar type presentations, 8-10 minutes, that goes into legal detail because at the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, whether it's a matrimonial matter, wills, trust, estate planning matter, immigration matter, bankruptcy chapter 713 matter, we love our educated client. An educated client better understand their legal rights and they could take advantage of the law. For example, many times people talk about bankruptcies, and even if you own a property with the required amount of minimum equity, you could file a Chapter 7 rather than a Chapter 13, get rid of your debt, and keep your home. As simple as that may sound, you may go to certain bankruptcy attorneys that may not give you the correct information as to why you should file a Chapter 7 over a Chapter 13. These little talks that we have on various legal issues is for your education. An educated community could make better decisions. And you could visit our YouTube channel. You could visit our website, www.askthelawyer.us, and you will always be educated. So not only, we're not asking you just to go there to, get a consultation with the law firm Figueroa and Associates. We are saying go to Ask the Lawyer, www.askthelawyer.us, so that you could educate yourself for your present or your future, for both your family, friends, and others. Be loving like how I am loving, in that I believe educated people will make better decisions. Thank you. Call 855-768-8845 to schedule a consultation or visit our website, www.askthelawyer.us. Thank you.
Are you planning a trip to the United States but unsure how to navigate the visa process? The law firm of Figaro and Associates, located in Brooklyn, New York, is here to help. Our experienced immigration attorneys will guide you step by step through the visitor's visa application process, ensuring that you have the best chance of success. Don't let paperwork and interviews stand in the way of your dream vacation. Schedule a consultation today by visiting www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845. We have helped countless clients like you successfully secure their U.S. visas. Let us take the stress out of the process so you can focus on planning your perfect trip. Are you looking to study in the United States but confused about how to apply for a student visa? The law firm of Figaro and Associates, located in Brooklyn, New York, is here to help. Our experienced immigration attorneys specialize in guiding students through the visa application process, ensuring that you have the best chance of success. Don't let paperwork and interviews stand between you and your academic dreams in the U.S. Schedule a consultation today by visiting www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845. We have helped countless students secure their student visas and begin their educational journey in the United States. Let us help you make your study abroad dream a reality. Figaro and Associates, your trusted partner in student visa success. Are you a professional living overseas and dreaming of working in the United States? The H-1B visa is your gateway to achieving that goal, but the process can be complicated. That's where the law firm of Figaro and Associates comes in. Located in Brooklyn, New York, we specialize in immigration law and can guide you every step of the way, from securing employer sponsorship to navigating consular interviews. Let us help you turn your dream into reality. Visit us at www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845 to schedule a consultation today. At Figaro and Associates, we're here to make the immigration process smoother, faster, and easier for you. Don't wait. Your future in the U.S. starts now. Starting a business in New York City, choosing the right business structure is critical to your success. The law firm of Figaro and Associates, located in Brooklyn, New York, can guide you through the process. From multis and corporations to partnerships and sole proprietorships, we help you navigate the legal complexities to protect your interests. Schedule a consultation today at www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845. Let Figaro and Associates help you build a solid foundation for your business. Are you an artist, band, or musician looking to perform in the United States but need help navigating the complex visa process? The law firm of Figaro and Associates, located in Brooklyn, New York, is here to assist. Our experienced immigration attorneys specialize in entertainer visas, including P1, P2, and P3 visas. We'll guide you through every step, from securing a U.S. sponsor to filing the necessary petitions and preparing for your consular interview. With our legal expertise, we'll ensure that your visa application process is smooth and stress-free so you can focus on what you do best, performing. Schedule a consultation today at visiting www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845. Figaro and Associates, your trusted partner in U.S. immigration law for entertainers.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figaro, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figaro.
An attack on marriage to foreigners. Supreme Court ends decision in Department of State versus Munoz in a pivotal 6-3 decision authored by Justice Amy Coney Barrett. The Supreme Court ruled in Department of State versus Munoz that a U.S. citizen does not have a fundamental liberty interest in the admission of her non-citizen spouse to the country. This decision reverses a Ninth Circuit ruling that previously recognized a U.S. citizen's due process right to a factual explanation for the government's denial of her spouse's immigrant visa application. Justice Sotomayor, joined by Justices Kagan and Jackson, issued a compelling dissent, arguing that the denial burdens the citizen's fundamental right to marriage. This case highlights the ongoing tension between immigration law, constitutional protections, and the scope of judicial review and administrative decision-making. Background of the case. The case arose when Maria Munoz, a U.S. citizen, challenged the State Department's refusal to grant an immigrant visa to her non-citizen spouse, Alejandro Munoz. The government cited vague national security concerns but provided no factual details about the denial. Maria argued that this lack of transparency violated her due process rights under the Fifth Amendment by interfering with her fundamental right to marriage. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals sided with Maria, holding that the government's refusal to provide a factual basis infringed upon her constitutionally protected right to marriage. The appellate court emphasized that the government's decision-making process must respect the citizen spouse's liberty interests, even in matters traditionally subject to plenary executive control, such as immigration. The Supreme Court's decision to reverse this ruling represents a significant shift in the judicial approach to balancing individual constitutional rights and governmental authority in immigration matters. The Supreme Court's opinion, Justice Barrett, writing for the majority, framed the case as one primarily concerning the limits of judicial intervention in immigration policy. The opinion relied heavily on the doctrine of consular non-reviewability, a long-standing principle granting wide deference to executive decisions in visa matters. Barrett's analysis centered on three key points. 1. Absence of a fundamental liberty interest. Barrett rejected the notion that a U.S. citizen possesses a fundamental liberty interest in the admission of their non-citizen spouse. While the court has previously recognized the right to marriage as fundamental under the Due Process Clause, the majority held that this right does not extend to a guarantee of cohabitation in the U.S. with a non-citizen spouse. Barrett emphasized that immigration control falls squarely within the government's sovereign authority and cannot be subordinated to individual marital interests. 2. Historical precedent and consular non-reviewability. The majority underscored that courts have consistently refrained from intervening in visa denials, citing precedents like Kleindienst Mandel, 1972. In Mandel, the court upheld executive discretion in immigration matters, so long as a facially legitimate and bona fide reason was provided. Barrett extended this reasoning, asserting that the government's mere invocation of national security sufficed to meet this standard, even without disclosing specific facts. 3. Judicial overreach in immigration policy. Barrett expressed concern that expanding judicial scrutiny into visa decisions could undermine the executive branch's constitutional prerogatives in foreign affairs and national security. She argued that requiring the government to justify its decisions with factual specificity would set a precedent that risks entangling the judiciary in politically sensitive matters. The dissenting opinion, Justice Sotomayor's dissent, joined by Justices Kagan and Jackson, presented a forceful critique of the majority's reasoning. Sotomayor contended that the refusal to provide a factual basis for the visa denial infringed on Maria Munoz's constitutionally protected right to marriage. Her dissent rested on three primary arguments. 1. The right to marriage as a fundamental liberty. Sotomayor argued that the decision to marry and live with one's spouse is central to personal autonomy and liberty. She emphasized that the government's action effectively burdens the citizen's exercise of this right without adequate justification. 2. Due process protections. The dissent highlighted the procedural safeguards afforded by the Due Process Clause. Sotomayor maintained that the government's refusal to explain the visa denial deprived Maria of any meaningful opportunity to challenge or rebut the allegations against her spouse. She described this lack of transparency as a fundamental violation of fairness. 3. National security concerns and accountability. While acknowledging the importance of national security, Sotomayor cautioned against allowing its invocation to become a blanket justification for opaque decision-making. She argued that providing a factual basis for visa denials does not compromise national security, but instead ensures accountability and protects citizens' constitutional rights. Implications of the decision. The Supreme Court's ruling has far-reaching implications for immigration law and constitutional rights. 1. Reaffirmation of consular non-reviewability. The decision solidifies the principle that courts will defer to the executive branch in visa matters, limiting judicial oversight of immigration decisions. 2. Impact on citizen rights. By rejecting the notion that a citizen has a fundamental liberty interest in their spouse's admission, the court narrows the scope of constitutional protections in family-based immigration cases. This could lead to greater difficulties for U.S. citizens seeking to reunite with non-citizen spouses. 3. Potential for executive overreach. Critics argue that the ruling grants unchecked power to the executive branch, allowing visa denials to be justified with minimal explanation. This lack of transparency raises concerns about potential abuse or discriminatory application of immigration laws. 4. Future challenges and advocacy. The dissent suggests a possible avenue for future litigation, particularly in cases where visa denials are demonstrably arbitrary or discriminatory. Advocacy groups are likely to push for legislative reforms to increase transparency and accountability in visa decision-making. In conclusion, the Supreme Court's decision in Department of State v. Munoz underscores the tension between individual constitutional rights and the government's authority over immigration policy. While the majority upheld the principle of consular non-reviewability, the dissent highlighted the human impact of such decisions and the risks posed to fundamental liberties. As immigration remains a contentious issue, this case serves as a reminder of the complex interplay between the judiciary, executive power, and the rights of individuals.
Facing deportation due to overstaying your visa or immigration violations, you need the right legal team on your side. The law firm of Figaro and Associates, located in Brooklyn, New York, specializes in deportation defense. Our experienced immigration attorneys can help you fight removal, apply for waivers, or seek asylum if needed. Don't face this alone. Let us help you protect your future. Schedule a consultation today at www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845. Figaro and Associates, the help you need when it matters most.
If your spouse has overstayed their visa and you want to help them obtain a green card, we can help. The process of adjusting status can be complex, especially if there was an overstay, but the law firm of Figaro and Associates, located in Brooklyn, New York, has the experience and expertise to guide you through it. Our team of immigration lawyers will assist you every step of the way, from filing petitions to representing you at interviews. Schedule a consultation today at visiting www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845. Get the right legal help when it matters most.
Are you visiting the U.S. and need to extend your stay due to an extended vacation or an emergency? The process can be complicated, but the law firm of Figaro and Associates, located in Brooklyn, New York, is here to help. Our experienced immigration attorneys can assist you in filing for an extension of your stay, ensuring all paperwork is handled properly and on time. Schedule a consultation today at www.askthelawyer.us or call us at 855-768-8845. Let Figaro and Associates guide you through the process with confidence.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
Guardianship in New York challenges when the guardian is an adult child living abroad. Guardianship laws in New York City, NYC, and New York State, NYS, are designed to protect individuals, commonly referred to as wards, who cannot manage their personal, financial, or medical affairs due to physical or mental incapacity. In cases where an adult child living outside the United States and not a U.S. citizen or green card holder is named as the guardian, unique legal logistical, and ethical challenges emerge. This article examines the guardianship framework in NYC and NYS, explores the complexities of having a non-resident guardian, and outlines possible solutions to navigate these challenges. 1. Overview of guardianship laws in NYC and NYS. Legal framework. Guardianship in New York is primarily governed by Article 81 of the New York Mental Hygiene Law, MHL, and to a lesser extent, Article 17A of the Surrogates Court Procedure Act, SCPA. Article 81 Guardianship. Designed for adults who cannot manage their personal or property needs. Guardianship is tailored to the specific needs of the ward, with the court granting only the powers necessary to meet those needs. Article 17A Guardianship. Used primarily for individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities. Unlike Article 81, this form of guardianship is more comprehensive and less tailored to specific needs. Types of guardianship. Guardianships in NY are categorized into guardian of the person, responsible for decisions about the ward's personal and medical care. Guardian of the property, manages the ward's financial affairs. Guardian of the person and property, oversees both personal and financial matters. 2. Requirements for becoming a guardian. General eligibility. To qualify as a guardian under NY law, the individual must be at least 18 years old. The person must have the ability to perform the duties assigned by the court. The court must determine that appointing the individual is in the best interest of the ward. Non-resident guardians. Non-residents can be appointed as guardians under NY law, but their status introduces additional complications. When the proposed guardian resides outside the United States and lacks legal residency, example, a U.S. green card or citizenship, the court may impose stricter requirements to ensure the ward's interests are adequately protected. 3. Challenges when the guardian is an adult child living abroad. Legal challenges. Immigration status. A guardian who is not a U.S. citizen or green card holder may face difficulties entering the U.S. to fulfill their guardianship duties. Without a valid visa, the guardian may not be able to attend court hearings, supervise care, or handle financial transactions. Court oversight. Guardians must periodically report to the court on the ward's well-being and financial status. A non-resident guardian may find it challenging to meet these requirements without physical presence. 3. Residency requirements for financial transactions. Banks and financial institutions often require guardians managing property to have a U.S. address or valid tax identification number. This poses logistical barriers for guardians living abroad. Logistical challenges. Coordination of care. Guardians are responsible for ensuring the ward receives proper care, which can include managing medical appointments, coordinating with care facilities, and overseeing day-to-day needs. Physical absence can make these tasks significantly harder. Time zone differences. Guardians living in a different time zone may struggle to communicate effectively with care providers, financial institutions, and legal representatives in the U.S. Travel limitations. Frequent travel to the U.S. may be financially or practically unfeasible, especially if the guardian has employment or family obligations in their country of residence. Ethical and emotional challenges. Cultural differences. Differences in medical and elder care norms between the U.S. and the guardian's home country may lead to conflicting decisions about the ward's care. Emotional distance. A non-resident guardian may find it harder to maintain a close, supportive relationship with the ward, potentially affecting the ward's mental and emotional well-being. 4. Court considerations in appointing non-resident guardians. The court must determine whether appointing a non-resident guardian is in the best interest of the ward. Key factors include the guardian's ability to fulfill duties. The court will assess whether the proposed guardian can effectively manage the ward's personal and financial needs despite living abroad. Proposed care plan. The guardian must present a detailed plan for overseeing the ward's care, including local support systems and communication methods. Alternative arrangements. If appointing a non-resident guardian is deemed impractical, the court may explore alternative arrangements, such as appointing a co-guardian or standby guardian based in the U.S. 5. Case study. Hypothetical scenario facts. Maria, an 82-year-old NYC resident, suffers from dementia and needs a guardian to manage her medical care and finances. Her adult son, Daniel, lives in Spain and is neither a U.S. citizen nor a green card holder. Daniel wants to serve as her guardian. Challenges. Daniel cannot travel frequently to the U.S. due to his work obligations and lack of a long-term visa. Maria's bank requires her guardian to have a U.S. Social Security number to manage her accounts. The court questions whether Daniel can adequately supervise Maria's day-to-day care from abroad. Proposed solutions. Appointing a local co-guardian. A trusted family, friend, or professional guardian in NYC could be appointed as a co-guardian to handle immediate, on-the-ground responsibilities. Leveraging technology. Daniel could use video calls and remote monitoring tools to stay involved in Maria's care and communicate with her medical team. Standby guardianship. The court could designate a standby guardian in the U.S. to take over if Daniel is unable to fulfill his duties. 6. Best practices for non-resident guardians. Build a support network. Establish relationships with local caregivers, attorneys, and financial advisors who can assist with the ward's needs. Adopt technological solutions. Used digital tools for remote communication, financial management, and health monitoring. Plan for visa requirements. Work with an immigration attorney to secure a visa that allows periodic visits to the U.S. for guardianship-related duties. Seek legal advice. Retain a guardianship attorney familiar with cross-border issues to navigate the complexities of NY law and ensure compliance with court requirements. 7. Legislative and policy considerations. Existing gaps in the law. While NY law permits non-resident guardians, it lacks specific provisions addressing the unique challenges faced by those living abroad. This can lead to inconsistent outcomes in court decisions and difficulties for guardians. Potential reforms. Clear guidelines for non-resident guardians. Introduce legislation clarifying the responsibilities and limitations of guardians residing outside the U.S. Use of technology. Encourage courts to adopt remote reporting and monitoring systems for non-resident guardians. Facilitation of visa access. Create a special visa category for guardians of U.S. residents, allowing them to travel to the U.S. for caregiving duties. 8. Ethical considerations. Balancing interests. Courts must balance the ward's best interests with the guardian's ability to fulfill their duties. Appointing a non-resident guardian may raise questions about whether the ward's care could be compromised by the guardian's physical absence. Respecting family dynamics. Family ties and cultural values often play a significant role in guardianship decisions. Courts must navigate these dynamics sensitively, especially when family members are separated by borders. In conclusion, guardianship cases involving non-resident guardians in NYC and NIS highlight the complexities of cross-border caregiving and the need for thoughtful legal and logistical solutions. While current laws allow non-residents to serve as guardians, practical challenges related to immigration, communication, and financial management require innovative approaches. By adopting best practices and advocating for legislative reform, families and courts can work together to ensure that wards receive the care and protection they need, regardless of geographical boundaries. Do you have a family member overseas that you want to bring to the United States? The law firm of Figueroa and Associates, located in Brooklyn, New York, is here to help. Our experienced immigration attorneys specialize in family-based green card petitions, guiding you step by step through the process to reunite you with your loved ones. Whether you are a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, we will ensure your petition is handled smoothly and efficiently. Plus, we can help you understand how filing for a green card may impact your relative's visitor visa. Schedule a consultation today at visiting www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845 to discuss your case with our skilled legal team.
Are you looking to study in the United States but confused about how to apply for a student visa? The law firm of Figueroa and Associates, located in Brooklyn, New York, is here to help. Our experienced immigration attorneys specialize in guiding students through the visa application process, ensuring that you have the best chance of success. Don't let paperwork and interviews stand between you and your academic dreams in the U.S. Schedule a consultation today by visiting www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845. We have helped countless students secure their student visas and begin their educational journey in the United States. Let us help you make your study abroad dream a reality. Figaro and Associates, your trusted partner in student visa success.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
Honorable Marcus Garvey, 1887 to 1940, was a black political activist, journalist, entrepreneur, and orator who founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, which had a following of more than 6 million African-descended people worldwide. Despite his massive popularity, this Jamaican-born international leader was wrongfully sentenced to prison by the U.S. government on trumped-up mail fraud charges. Today, we are speaking with his son, Dr. Julius Garvey, who recently authored the book, Justice for Garvey. Welcome, sir. Such an honor and privilege to speak with you today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Our pleasure. So let's talk about the fight for exoneration. Dr. Garvey, you have long been a prominent advocate for your father's posthumous pardon. What do you believe are the most significant barriers to achieving justice for Marcus Garvey, and how do you see the current movement making progress?
The important thing is to highlight justice and the miscarriage of justice and any way in which that can be righted. And we need to then revisit the definition of exoneration and or pardon. And we've tried to achieve the exoneration of my father of all charges against him. We've been doing this since 1987, which was the centenary of his birth, and we appeared before the Congress of the United States, House Judiciary Committee, and there have been House resolutions consistently since that time up to the present asking for his exoneration. But that's a very political process. At the present time, Yvette Clarke, a representative from Brooklyn, has such a resolution before the Congress, and of course it's discussed in the Judiciary Committee. Now, what we've tried to do is to use the ability of the president to issue a posthumous pardon on his own. He doesn't have to go to the Congress. He doesn't have to ask anybody else. On his own say so, he can sign a document and pardon Marcus Garvey or anybody else that he wants to pardon. Mm-hmm. But in our specific case, we would want him to also say that there was no criminality, that there was no crime committed, and it was an unjust situation. So we want to use the posthumous pardon as a process to go directly to clearing Marcus Garvey's name. Now, we've been doing this since President Obama in 2016. Our law firm made the application for the posthumous pardon. He did not do it. We've been doing it with Biden in his first term, and also in second term, also with Kamala Harris, and we have not had a satisfactory response. So we're continuing, and that's where we are at the present time.
Hopefully you would have some success with this new incoming administration, seeing that he's seeking pardon for himself. Well,
the administration hasn't come in yet, so we're not going there just yet in terms of our thinking. We don't know what the incoming administration will do, but the present administration has up until January the 20th. Still remaining in the term of office. So we are continuing to advocate for justice from President Biden.
So let's talk about your book, sir, and its role in the movement. In Justice for Marcus Garvey, you edited a collection of essays and personal narratives that highlight your father's legacy. How do you hope this book will influence public perception of Garvey's contributions, particularly in the context of modern social justice movements?
Well, it's both a historical document as well as a legal document, shall we say, reviewing the court case, etc. And by and large, we don't control our educational process, certainly not enough. And this is also an attempt to educate the current generation about what happened, shall we say, 100 years ago, because it's simply repeating itself in terms of the African American community. I would say, continues to be fragmented between so-called nativists as well as immigrants from the Caribbean, as well as immigrants from Africa. Very often we don't see ourselves as one people. And that was one of the problems, back in the 20s. So-called, the nativist approach from those who had been enslaved in the United States, seeing themselves as somehow different from others who had emigrated to the United States. And that was one of the ways in which J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI was able to use the divisions within the African American community to destroy, a concentrated movement, for shall we say, freedom and economic as well as social and political justice within the country. And at the present time, I think definitely that division still exists. And unless we come together as one people, that division will continue to be exploited by the new administration that will be coming in, just as other administrations have. So the purpose of the book is try to show us a historical fact of what happened back in the 1920s. And the fact is that it is continuing to happen. And unless we unify, African people worldwide would still be at the bottom of the ladder in every society in which we live. So it's both historical in terms of being facts as well as legal and showing how the justice system can be used to perpetrate injustice, to destroy somebody's character, to destroy a movement, because what becomes a legal fact can become a social and political fact and ideology and shape the course of history. So the course of history was changed because of the illegality of use of the judiciary against Marcus Garvey and the UNIA. So that his strength was weakened, the Black community was weakened in terms of its autonomy. And we see the results of that fragmentation. So we're hoping that we can learn from history.
Truth to power, sir, and your father, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, wrote, "A people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots." And looking at his global impact, your father's influence spanned continents, inspiring millions of people of African descent worldwide. How do you see his teachings resonating in today's global Black diaspora, and what lessons do you think they offer in the fight for racial justice and equality?
Well, as you mentioned, he was a forerunner of many people who were in essence his disciples, people such as Kwame Nkrumah, who after 1945 took the Pan-African concept out to the continent, and Ghana became independent in 1957. That was followed by Nigeria. 1960, the first president was Nnamdi Azikiwe, who was also a disciple of Marcus Garvey. Same thing in Kenya with Jomo Kenyatta, Nelson Mandela in South Africa. All of those people were in essence disciples of Marcus Garvey. The same thing in the Caribbean. All of the Caribbean movements since the riots and so on in 1935. And the leaders that came up were disciples of Marcus Garvey. So his influence was worldwide, continues to be worldwide. If you look at so many of the flags all over, the red, black, and green is dominant. So Pan-Africanism is alive and well. It's in transition from the Association of African Unity to the African Union. It needs to be a federal government that is strong enough to represent Africa worldwide, both in the Security Council as well as at the United Nations. And, I should be at the G7, not just at the G20, et cetera, et cetera. So, again, it requires unity. There's been progress, but there needs to be more progress in terms of the unity of the continent and the African Union with its diaspora as the sixth region. That needs to be solidified so that we can have not only political union, but trade and commerce with the continent, which is what my father also advocated with his use of the Black Star Line Shipping Company. So we're on our way, but we have not achieved perfection, but there's been consistent movement in the right direction.
Okay, so we just discussed his global impact. Looking at the legacy of Black empowerment, we have already established that the Honorable Marcus Garvey is considered one of the most influential figures in Black history, especially when it comes to the concept of Black pride and self-determination. In your view, how can contemporary movements of Black empowerment draw inspiration from his work while addressing today's unique challenges?
Well, we need a complete transformation of the educational system. As Marcus Garvey said, you were just quoting him, we must liberate our minds from mental slavery because, while others may help us to liberate the body, none but ourselves can liberate our mind. And most of our educational systems are still designed, by the Europeans that colonized us, or in the United States by the majority group. And as you know, here in the United States, they're trying to deny any such concept as Black education, if you will, or Black history. So it's important for us to have our own educational system so that the minds of our youth are oriented in the proper direction, and they don't have to self-educate, if you will, and unlearn what they've learned in high school and college, to assume their own dignity as human beings and free themselves to be properly productive within society. So education is now the key step moving forward in terms of the determination of African development and the development of African people.
And finally, so what are your words of inspiration to the young generation, and how can one get a copy of your book, Justice for Marcus Garvey?
Well, but Justice for Marcus Garvey is published by Broadleaf, and it's on the shelf of most bookstores. We're going to be doing book signing in Brooklyn at the Adan bookstore and at the New York Peace Center today. So, and other booksellers should be carrying it. But you can go to the Broadleaf book publishers to get a book directly in that way. I don't know if it's on Amazon yet.
Okay.
It's on Amazon, yeah. I've been told it's on Amazon as well, yes.
Okay, great. And words of inspiration for the generation, the young generation?
Up to you, mighty people, you can accomplish what you will. And if you have no confidence in self, you've lost twice in the race of life. But with confidence, you've won even before you've started.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
This show is a production of IQ Inc. Marketing. If you would like to advertise your product or service on this show to the U.S. and Caribbean markets and through our multicultural publications in New York, please call 866-435-3286 or send an email to info@myiqinc.com.
And this is where we come towards the end of our show. We want to thank you so much for joining us. Remember, this is your opportunity for a consultation on any legal issue or concern that you may have, whether it's immigration, personal injury, accidents, medical malpractice, divorce, separation, child custody, support, wills and probate, estate planning, real estate, bankruptcy, civil rights, taxes, both individual and business. Call us right now, 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Or visit us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. November, the days grow short, The nights grow long, the autumn turns to winter's song. And in the words of Maya Angelou, be present in all things and thankful for all things. This is Ask the Lawyer. You have questions, we've got the answers. Be happy, be safe, be well.